We're the people with the smile on the box. We're the reinventors of normal. We dream of making things that change your life, then disappear into your everyday. Of making the revolutionary routine. Our accomplishments are things you barely think about, but can't imagine not having. Connecting your mouse to your front door was our moon landing. Creating Kindle, our 4-minute mile. Customer reviews, our light bulb. And when we build you something new, you can expect everything to change a little more. Look around. What once seemed wildly impractical is now completely normal. And normal just begs to be messed with. Amazon.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us in Santa Monica this morning. Beautiful day. We've got a lot to share with you. I hope you enjoyed that new television spot, and I hope it captures the spirit of Amazon. And I hope it conveys it too. We love to invent. We love to pioneer. We even like going down alleys that turn out to be blind alleys. Of course, every once in a while, one of those blind alleys opens up into a broad avenue. And that's really fun. Let me read you something. This is from Ryan. I got it a couple days ago when we put some new content about Prime Instant Video on our website gateway. It says, hello. I'm sure you get dozens, if not hundreds, if not thousands of emails daily, so I'll keep it brief. Thank you. Every time I see that white paper on the front page of Amazon, I know that I'm about to get more for my money than I thought I would. I signed up for Prime for the shipping, yet now I get movies, TV, and books. You keep adding more, but not charging more. So, thanks again for all the addition, Ryan. We get a number of emails like this when we add to Prime or when we do something for customers, and I can tell you, it's very encouraging. We love it. We live for email like this. Let me tell you something. Customers are smart. Last year, there were more than 24 Android tablets launched into the marketplace, and nobody bought them. Why? Because they're gadgets. And people don't want gadgets anymore. They want services. They want services that improve over time. They want services that get better every day, every week, and every month, year after year. Well, Kindle Fire is a service. What does it mean for a hardware device to be a service? It greets you by name. It comes out of the box with your content preloaded. You can choose from 22 million different items. It makes recommendations for you. It has the very lowest prices on content. You can buy your content once and enjoy it in a big ecosystem. Keeps your place for you. And it keeps all of your content in the Amazon cloud backed up, worry-free. Hardware device as a service, that's what people want. Our service includes 180,000 Kindle exclusive books that you won't find anywhere else. And these are ones people are reading. 100 million downloads so far of these exclusive titles. Our service includes the Kindle Owner's Lending Library. No due dates, never a waiting list. It even includes all 7 Harry Potter books in most languages. Our service includes Prime Instant Video, 25,000 movies, TV episodes. We just added Epics 2 days ago. Hardware is a critical part of the service, absolutely essential. Let me show you an amazing graph. I see this and I say, wow. But this was accomplished on Kindle before we were even able to build the hardware that we always wanted to build. Can you guys roll the customer video for new Kindle, please?
How's it going?
Hi.
What I liked about it is actually not having to turn the pages. And I would read or the news or whatever while I was nursing my son. It made me a happier mother, you know.
If I was going on a trip, I didn't have to worry about, do I have enough books to last the trip?
This is like my escape device. Like, this is my vacation. And it's easy for me to make recommendations to people because I can just send them a link to the book.
I'm the kind of person that reads 4 books at a time. My eyes are really sensitive to light stuff, so there's no glare on this screen. I really love that.
I read far more now on the Kindle. I think it's just because it's always there. There's no barrier to getting a book.
I don't just read at home. I read in my breaks. I read when I'm at work. And, you know, the Kindle or the app on the phone, it's something I just slip in my pocket. It's no problem.
I always have my library in my purse. That's fabulous. And I know that I've expanded my reading to different genres. I can just download the sample and decide, I didn't think I'd like this, but I do. Bye.
Oh, that's not my Kindle.
Oh my goodness. You guys are sneaky that way.
That's incredible.
The screen, higher resolution, clear. Not that the old one was bad by any means.
And it's really so much sharper. It's pretty obvious.
I love the light. Oh God, that is amazing. I never even knew I needed it. I love it.
That is going to revolutionize everything.
I mean, it looks fantastic.
Is this backlit?
It's a frontlit device.
It doesn't jump out at you. It doesn't cause any eye strain. It doesn't even leave the screen.
I'm very fussy about fonts and how they look.
You can change the font style too, which is really, really cool. I'd probably keep it on Helvetica. It's just me.
I can't stop smiling.
It's a big step up.
They really, I think, have listened to the things that people have said, oh, this would be easier.
There's just so many things that it kind of improves upon.
This is exactly what Star Trek promised me would happen.
It'll be fun. I'm excited.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kindle Paperwhite. When we set out to build this Paperwhite display, it didn't exist. We had to invent it. It has 25% more contrast. The whites are whiter. The blacks are blacker. It's 212 pixels per inch. It has 62% more pixels. We didn't stop there. I want to show you this revolutionary display stack. It starts with the Paperwhite display on the bottom. We add capacitive touch. And on top of that, we put our patented light guide. That light guide represents 4 years of R&D. Let me show you a little bit of how it works. You can think of it best as a fiber optic cable, but flattened out very thin, flattened fiber optic cable. The light travels down that cable. And then it's nano imprinted so that it releases just the right amount of light all along the way to make the lighting even across the entire display. Incredibly challenging. And what it means is the light is directed down towards the display, the opposite of an LCD display. It's exactly like ambient light. For the reader, perfect in the bedroom, perfect in direct sunlight. People are going to love this device, and they're going to love the light. In fact, they're going to love the light so much, they're going to leave it on all the time, even in bright rooms. We figured that out early, and so we worked on our power management until Kindle Paperwhite could get 8 weeks of battery life, even with the light on. You won't have to recharge your Paperwhite until Halloween. Capacitive touch is more accurate, and it let us make the bezel much thinner. The whole device is only 9.1 millimeters. It's thinner than a magazine, lighter than a paperback. Let's take a look. All right, we took some cues from the Kindle Fire. We put the device in cover mode. You can swipe through, look at all your content on the device. You can switch to the cloud and see your entire library, or you can look at just the things that are local on your device. Let's take a look at George R.R. Martin's latest. One thing you'll notice here is just how gorgeous these fonts are, how beautiful this display is, the higher resolution, the higher contrast, the blacker blacks. We hand-tuned every font to the pixel grid, every font, every size. The Kindle file format has been improving continuously, and now publishers can do things, they can choose to do things like drop caps. Let's take a look at the fonts. I'm going to show off a little bit by cranking this down to the tiniest font size. Without this Paperwhite display, you could never display fonts this small, and they still look gorgeous. All right, let's make the font a little bigger, and let's switch to Palatino. Palatino is a font that's inspired by calligraphy. It has very fine features. Again, you couldn't do this font, not properly, without this kind of resolution and contrast. Let's pull up the light. The light is extremely adjustable. You can have it where you want it. Very dark room, you might turn it down quite low. I'm going to show you a really cool feature. It's called time to read. Take a look in the lower left-hand corner. If I tap that, it tells me there are 12 minutes left in the chapter. If I tap it again, it tells me how much time is left before I finish the book. We got requests from customers. They said, with a paper book, I can tell I'm lying in bed, I'm trying to decide, should I go to sleep now, or should I go ahead and finish the chapter? We thought we'd fix that. And this feature is smart. It tracks your reading speed, and it adjusts these times based on your individual reading speed. Let's look at X-ray. Much loved feature, lets you see the bones of the book. This book is amazing because it has 440 characters. Look at that. I don't know how anybody read this book before they had X-ray. The point of this is you get 2/3 of the way through the book, a minor character resurfaces, you can quickly jump back to where the character was first introduced, or even jump in and just get a bio of all the characters. King Stannis, Lord of Dragonstone, younger brother of the late King Robert, has dark blue eyes and only a fringe of thin black hair remaining on his head, circling behind his ears like the shadow of a crown. It's incredibly useful. Okay, another thing people really like, they love author bios. It's the most popular part of the cover art of a book on the back. And so here you can see George R.R. Martin's bio, and you can also see his bibliography. And I'll remind you, every one of those books is 60 seconds away. Okay. Now, let's talk about what you get with Kindle Paperwhite. It's the first ever Paperwhite display. The whites are whiter, the blacks are blacker. Has 8 weeks of battery life. The patented light guide. Carry your entire library with you. Choose from millions of books. 180,000 of them are exclusive. You get the Kindle Owner's Lending Library, X-ray so you can see the bones of your book, the new Time to Read feature, books in 60 seconds, the much-loved WhisperSync, and free storage in the Amazon cloud so you can delete your books with wild abandon from the device and get them back whenever you want. Backing things up shouldn't be your responsibility. So how much? What's the price of this? $119. Order it today, and it ships October 1st. Thank you. How about free 3G? We've been doing this on our Kindle for 5 generations now. People love it. No hunting for Wi-Fi hotspots, no paying for Wi-Fi hotspots. Works in over 100 countries. No data plan, no annual contract, no monthly fees. You know what's really cool about free 3G wireless? The people who have the 3G Kindle, they read 36% more. Kindle Paperwhite 3G is $179, and it also ships October 1st. Now, last year, we announced a $79 Kindle. We did this because we're very serious about the mission of making sure that anybody who wants to be able to read this way can afford to read this way. Amazon today dropped the price of the original Wi-Fi-enabled Kindle e-reader to a jaw-dropping $79. Amazon's new Kindle is a mind-breakingly cheap $79. The $79 Kindle offers a great, inexpensive entry point into the world of Kindle. Well, people like this device so much that we decided we'd keep it. We also decided we'd upgrade it a little bit. New fonts, crisper text, 15% faster page turns. Oh, we decided to change one more thing about the product. We're going to change its name. Now we're going to call it the $69 Kindle. Shipped September 14th. All right, here they are. People are going to love these products. We're very excited about them. Can we roll the Paperwhite TV spot, please?
We're the people with the smile on the box. We're the reinventors of normal. That's why we created our newest Kindle with the world's first Paperwhite display that reads without glare in bright sunlight, at night, and every minute in between. Because the only thing more perfect than reading is more reading. The all-new Kindle Paperwhite.
All right. Now, hardware is super important. It's critical. Great hardware, lots of invention in the hardware. But invention does not stop with the hardware. We are not interested in science fiction which deals with negative utopias. They do not sell. That was a letter sent to Stephen King before he sold 350 million books. This is too different from other juveniles on the market to warrant its selling. That's a rejection letter sent to Dr. Seuss before he sold 200 million copies. In the end, I received 60 rejections for my book, but letter number 61 was the one that accepted me. After my 5 years of writing and 3.5 years of rejection, an agent took pity on me. What if I'd given up at 15 or 40 or even 60? That's Catherine Stockett. She sold 10 million copies of The Help, and it's been 100 weeks on the New York Times bestseller list. Well, when I see these stories, the first thing that occurs to me is outright admiration for the persistence and relentlessness of these authors. The second thing that occurs to me is how many authors did stop after 40 rejections. How many great manuscripts are sitting in desk drawers somewhere? I guarantee you there are many. Who are the creators we've never known? And we wondered, could we invent something to help? Another route to find readers. It's called Kindle Direct Publishing. Authors can publish in hours, they publish for free, they keep their copyrights, they publish on their own schedule, they can distribute globally all over the world, and they receive way more royalties. It's working. Here's the KDP selection growth, and people are buying these books. Here are the top 100 paid Kindle books. 27 of them are KDP. Unbelievable. Can we please roll the author video? I think you guys will enjoy this.
I was home on a leave of absence from work, and I read my first romance novel, and I knew instantly that I wanted to be a writer. My first book took me 5 years to write, so that was my Romance 101. I felt like I was doing everything I should. My writing was great. I was winning contests and things, and still no sale. So I had hundreds of rejections at this time. I was thinking I might have to go get another job that pays, since I hadn't made a dime in 19 years.
I didn't know anything about how publishing worked. I thought I'd write the book first and then I'll figure that out. So then my agent started shopping it around, and that process takes a long time. It took about 4 months for her to hear back from all 7 of the publishers she contacted. And all 7 of them turned it down. And they all said the same thing, which was, we can't take a gamble on an unknown author, so sorry.
I just felt like if I could get it in front of readers, which is all I want to do anyway, let them decide. And the minute I took it back, and you know what I like to say is I took my publishing destiny into my own hands, that's when everything took off. That's when everything changed.
2009, my husband said, try the self-publishing thing. You write your little blurb and you click publish. That's how fast and easy it is.
Seeing the sales come in, I mean, Perfect on Paper made it all the way to #2 on Amazon last year for the Kindle, which sells more books than the print books.
Right now I'm selling thousands of books a day. We have a daughter in college. I didn't know how we were going to pay for that. So now we're able to pay cash for her college.
I'm a full-time writer now. I'm able to make a living as a writer. Everything that I had thought was so far out of my reach not only came to me, but came to me in a much larger way than I had even imagined was possible.
Right when I got the first paycheck, I said to my husband, we're going to Hawaii. We've been married over 25 years. We've never been on a trip, just the two of us, because of this.
We've got some of the KDP authors in the audience with us here today, and I would just ask you guys to please give them a huge round of applause. This is transformative stuff. All right. So, there's a funny thing about physical media. Short things work, they're called magazine articles, and long things work, they're called books. But there's this big chunk in the middle where you can't market something of a certain length. We fixed that. It's called Kindle Singles, and it's working. 3.5 million sold, 35 have reached the top 50, and people like Stephen King, Lee Child, Nelson DeMille, and Karen Slaughter have published Kindle Singles. It's really incredible. But we thought, I wonder if for our next invention, we could reach back into the past for some inspiration. That's what we did. This is Charles Dickens. As you know, most of his books were published in serialized form. And I thought, well, maybe we can do that. Maybe with the new technology, we can do that. Kindle serials. Now, as Mark Twain famously observed, history does not repeat itself, but it does rhyme. So we've decided to make a few 21st century improvements. First of all, you're only going to have to pay once, and you'll get all the installments. Second of all, it can be very seamless. When you get the new installment, we'll append it to the back of the ones you've already received, and we'll preserve in that process all of your notes and highlights. Most intriguingly for me, we have the internet. And authors, as they issue installments, are going to be able to follow along with reader reaction in the Twitter sphere, in the blogosphere, and everywhere else. And they're going to adapt the next installments based on the first ones. It's going to be a very interesting experiment. Super excited about it. Here are the first 8. Downward facing death up in the upper left-hand corner there. Yes, that is a yoga murder mystery. I'm thinking it's a whole new genre. Just for fun, oh, by the way, all those are going to be $1.99 for all the total for all the episodes. And here's something free, just to kick off the program. We're going to reissue these 2 Dickens books in the same serialized format that they were originally published in. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so what happens when you build a great service? People read more. And for the team of missionaries working on Kindle, nothing could be more important than this stat. 12 months after buying a Kindle, people read 2.5 times as much as they did in the 12 months before they buy a Kindle. And that was in 2008. In 2009, for people who bought a device in that year, it's 3.5 times as much. 4.2 times as much in 2010, and 4.6 times as much in 2011. We don't know if this number can keep going up, but we love it. All right, let's talk about Kindle Fire. Kindle Fire is the #1 best-selling item on Amazon. 10,000 5-star reviews. The volume of stuff that's available for your brain to munch on is so immense and easy to grab that the Fire feels massive beyond its smallish frame, which, by the way, is sturdy and satisfying to hold like a good paperback. A paperback filled with internet magic and delectable liquid crystal. The Kindle Fire is a spigot, and prime tastes delicious. The Fire has some big things going for it. First, the $199 price. Second, the Amazon and Kindle brands. Third, Amazon is the only major tablet maker other than Apple with a large, famous, easy-to-use content ecosystem that sells music, video, books, and periodicals. The Fire can be thought of as a hardware front end to all that cloud content. Kindle Fire. Yes, it's that good. In less than a year, Kindle Fire is 22% of tablet sales in the US. Nobody would have predicted this when we launched this product less than a year ago. Well, we thought we'd keep Kindle Fire. We're going to upgrade it very substantially, change the processor, it's 20% faster. We've doubled the RAM. The net effect of those is it's 40% faster, and we've even made the battery life longer. So, for this new, fully upgraded Kindle Fire, what's the price? $159. Ships September 14th. Now, we were incredibly happy last year to have the best tablet at a certain price. This year, we want to have the best tablet at any price. Kindle Fire HD. And we decided to go big. Our large display tablet is only 8.8 millimeters, weighs 20 ounces. Gorgeous 8.9-inch display, 254 pixels per inch, in-plane switching technology. It's stunning. In-plane switching and very high resolution. If you want a really great display, those two things are only the beginning. You also need a great polarizing filter. We've got the advanced true wide polarizing filter. It's by far the best, and it makes a big difference. Is it a little more expensive? Yes. Is it worth it? Absolutely. How about glare? How are you going to put the touch surface on top of the display? That makes a big difference. The typical way is to just layer it on, creates a tiny little air gap, twice as many opportunities for reflections. We didn't go that way. We laminated the touch sensor on top of the display. Is it more expensive? Yes. Is it worth it? Absolutely. Why? Because you get 25% less glare. You guys are going to get to see these displays a little later. You're going to see how good they are. So, can an HD tablet stop with an HD display? No way. I'm going to tell you why. As soon as you go to HD, all the content gets big. Here's a game. It's almost 3 times the size in HD as it is in standard. Magazine, more than twice the size. Movie, 3 gigs versus 785 megabytes. So, when you put an HD display on a tablet, you have to make sure that the other subsystems on that tablet stay in proportion. You have to seek balance. You don't want to be that guy in the gym who overexercises one muscle group. Nobody likes this. This is what you want. Balance, proportion. It all has to work together cohesively. So besides a great high-definition display, what do you need? Well, you better start out with a great processor and a great graphics engine. That's what we did. The OMAP 4470, 12 billion floating point operations per second. That's 50% more than the Tegra 3. How about memory bandwidth? 7.5 gigabytes. That's 40% more than the Tegra 3. This, combined with great software integration, is what makes a device smooth and snappy. Okay, how about sound? If you're going to have this gorgeous display, don't you also want glorious sound to keep it in balance? Well, here's the standard today. One speaker, mono sound. We thought we could do a little bit better. Put in dual stereo speakers. Is it harder? You bet. You've got to package them in there. It increases your bill of materials. We also added Dolby Digital Plus. This is the first tablet to ever have Dolby Digital Plus. It's the same sound that Dolby puts in high-end home theater systems. It makes a huge difference. It's worth it. All right, what else needs to be kept in balance once you add an HD display? Well, has anybody ever seen this? Or maybe that? Nobody likes this. Nobody likes this. What does that mean? That means Wi-Fi matters. Wi-Fi is crucial on a tablet, and other tablet makers are not paying enough attention to Wi-Fi. They are not giving it the attention it deserves. The 2.4 gigahertz band, this is one of the many alphabet soup-ish things about Wi-Fi. A, B, G, N, 2.4, 5 gigahertz, dual band, so on and so on. The 2.4 gigahertz band has been around 15 years, and it's gotten unbelievably crowded. Baby monitors, cordless phones, even microwave ovens operate in this band. And your neighbor's Wi-Fi access point does too. So you can add a second band, 5 gigahertz. It's newer, it's only a few years old, and it's much cleaner. This makes a big improvement. Many fewer devices operate in this band. There's something else you can do if you're serious about Wi-Fi. You can add 2 antennas. 2 antennas make a big difference for a couple of reasons. The first is something called fading, and you've experienced it. Pull up to a stop sign in your car, and your AM/FM radio might fade out ever so slightly. And if you roll forward just 3 inches, literally, you can roll forward as little as 3 inches, the signal comes back. That's fading. Well, if you have 2 antennas, you don't need to roll your device forward. The software on the device can be smart enough to just select the antenna that's experiencing less fading. Makes a very big difference. There's another reason why 2 antennas is good. That's if you position them properly on the tablet, if your hand obscures one of the antennas and reduces its efficiency, the other antenna can take over. Okay. Those are all good, and they're all hard to do. There's one more that's really state-of-the-art. It's called MIMO. Now, radio would be much, much simpler if there were no objects in the world. And by objects, I mean walls, ceilings, refrigerators, cars. All of these things reflect the radio waves, and you get echoes that confuse the receiver. If you were in a mountain pass shouting at a friend 100 yards behind you, trying to convey a message, it's very difficult because of the echoes. You start shouting the message, and your own message starts stomping on itself. Well, what MIMO does, with enough computational horsepower, and it takes a lot, you can turn the echoes upside down and turn them from a cacophony, from a disadvantage, into an opportunity. The way it works is, with MIMO, you treat the echoes as a second chance to hear the signal. You hear it once, and then you hear the echo, and then you hear the next echo, and the next echo, and each time you hear the echo, You get a chance to untangle that encoded communication. This was actually figured out in principle a couple decades ago, but it was impossible because it requires ridiculously large amounts of computation to do. In fact, it's still so computationally intensive that it can only be done in silicon. You have to do it in hardware. And today, only a small number of high-end laptops incorporate MIMO technology. Or I should say, until today. Because Kindle Fire HD is the first tablet ever to incorporate MIMO. It's got dual band, the 2.4 and the 5 gigahertz, 2 antennas, and MIMO. Let's see how it stacks up to the competition. iPad has the 5 gigahertz band, but only has 1 antenna, no MIMO. Nexus 7 doesn't even have the 5 gigahertz band. What is the result of this for users? Kindle Fire HD has 41% faster Wi-Fi than the latest iPad, 54% faster than Nexus 7. If you're going to have big HD content, this is important, because nobody likes looking at this. Okay. There's another thing you got to keep in balance on your HD tablet, and that's local storage. Super important. And the question we asked ourselves is, what's the right amount of local storage for an HD tablet? Keep in mind that the operating system takes up at least 2 gigabytes of whatever local storage you have, sometimes more. So you're not really starting with 8 gigabytes. You're starting with 6 gigabytes or less if you have 8 gigabytes of onboard storage. So let's start putting some things on this device. Put a magazine on. Let's put another magazine on. Let's put a game on, another game, and a movie. Oops. We already ran out of space on the HD device. We still have space on the SD device because the content's so much smaller. The fact of the matter is, for a high-def device, 8 gigabytes is dead on arrival. We're starting Kindle Fire HD at 16 gigabytes. Okay. Once again, invention doesn't stop with the hardware. We've added 100,000 audiobooks to Kindle Fire HD. This would have been impossible if Audible.com wasn't a part of the Amazon family. And Audible's business has really reached a tipping point. If you haven't listened to an audiobook in a while, you'll be amazed by the quality of the narration today. They're getting people like Susan Sarandon, Colin Firth, Anne Hathaway to narrate these books. People love audiobooks because they can listen to them in situations where they could never read a book. Jogging, driving to work, cleaning, cooking. It effectively expands their reading time. So we thought, I wonder if there's a way to expand reading time even more. There is. It's called WhisperSync for voice. And here's how it works. Listen to your audiobook on the way home. When you get home, pick up and start reading. Listen a little, read a little. We keep your place between the two media formats. People are going to love this. Bimodal reading improves retention and understanding, both with people who have difficulty reading and high-functioning readers. Bimodal reading improves retention and understanding, both with people who have difficulty reading and high-functioning readers. Watch this.
Instead of returning to his stand beside the entrance to Bloomstein's department store, Goldie made a round of the bars and joints where they were most likely to hang out. He went up 7th Avenue to 145th Street, east to Lenox Avenue, south on Lenox to 125th Street again. He jangled his coin box and murmured in his husky, prayerful voice, "Give to the Lord, give to the poor." Whenever anyone looked at him suspiciously, he quoted from Revelation, "That ye may eat the flesh of kings."
All right.
If that's what you're going to buy with the money, sister, here's $50.
What if you could, thank you. The teams will be very grateful for that, a lot of work. What if you could fuse together the Kindle book and the Audible book? Well, turns out you can, and we call it immersion reading. It's going to improve understanding, improve retention, and guess what? It's just fun, too. All right, how about movies? If you were watching a movie on your Kindle Fire HD, wouldn't it be cool if you could just tap the screen at any time and see who the actor is in that scene? Who's that guy? I know I've seen him in something else. What was he in? X-ray from movies. This would have been impossible without having IMDb as a part of the Amazon family. This feature is incredible, and I'm going to demo it a little later. It's a fantastic example of combining high technology and good old-fashioned hard work. I'll show you. What about games? People love games. I am amazed at how many games we have sold on the Kindle Fire. There's one very annoying thing about tablet games, and that is you get 30 levels unlocked, and then for one reason or another, many people have had this experience. You have to reinstall, or you get a new device. For one reason or another, you lose all of your unlocked levels and have to start over. That's not fun. We thought we would fix that. It's called WhisperSync for games. It stores all of your unlocked levels in the Amazon cloud, so if you change devices or reinstall, you can pick up right where you left off. How about connectivity? Facebook, email, Twitter, Skype. We put a lot of effort into email on this device. In fact, just to call out one thing, we put a dedicated team on Microsoft Exchange, and we have built the best Exchange integration of any tablet. If your corporate server runs Exchange, you're going to love email on this device. Facebook built a custom app for us. Keep track of your friends, connect with people, import photos. Skype built a custom app too. Take advantage of our HD front-facing camera. Okay. What about kids? You know, sometimes you invent for customers. Sometimes you invent for yourself. I have 4 kids. Kids love screens. Parents have this strange notion that kids should sometimes do something else, like go outside. This results in negotiation. From the murmurings in the audience, I think it's safe to assume some of you have kids. This is not anybody's favorite part of parenting. So we wondered, could we build some tools that would help limit this kind of negotiation? We did it. It's called Kindle FreeTime. And one of the really cool things about Kindle FreeTime is you can set separate time limits for different kinds of content. So for example, with my kids, I said, look, if you want to use your Kindle Fire to read books, there's no time limit on that. You can read books as much as you want. But I do set time limits. I set screen time limits for games and TV and movies, video. Also, we have multiple kids, so you need profiles. You want to be able to set these up in individual ways. And the last thing is one of those perfect examples of tiny invention. Tiny, but still very ingenious, that really simplifies things for customers. The Kindle FreeTime team came up with this. The screen turns blue when it's locked in Kindle FreeTime mode. So from across the room, as a parent, you can tell. I know, genius. All right, let's do a demo. All right, here we go. Notice we've got our carousel. And I hope you can see how fast and smooth that is. These are big, high-res images. These aren't app icons. Moving around this much data, this smoothly, is very difficult. It takes a lot of powerful hardware, and it also takes very deep integration with the software. Notice the device greets me by name. There's a nav here. You can get to all your content libraries, get to photos, get to other things. One of the nice things about the out-of-box experience for Kindle Fire is that those library apps are all integrated so that you don't have, the first thing you do when you get your device isn't have to install a bunch of different apps. You can start using it right away. Tap on the bottom here, and Favorites will pop up. Favorites is not only, you can pin apps here, but you can also pin content here. You can even pin websites here. Anything you use frequently. Let's go in, listen to watch some Hunger Games.
Now tell me about the flames. Are they real?
Yes.
This is a great, watching a movie on Kindle Fire HD is a great example of all the things we're pulling together. The high resolution display, the balanced Wi-Fi, the very fast Wi-Fi so that you can stream big HD videos.
I think that's a yes.
That's a great scene. Let's pause that for a second. You'll see X-ray here in the upper left-hand corner. You can see in this scene, you've got Jennifer Lawrence, Stanley Tucci, Lenny Kravitz. Let's go in, pull up Jennifer Lawrence. Again, when you pause the movie, it pulls up X-ray for you. You can see what she's famous for. She was in X-Men First Class. Most people don't know that because she was underneath 2 pounds of blue makeup. You can also see other titles that she's in. Here's Winter's Bone. I'm going to go ahead and add that to my watch list, which I can do right there. And then I could just go back to playing the movie. Let's go ahead and look at Stanley Tucci. Stanley is one of these prolific actors, incredible number of things you could peruse and find out about. Okay. That's X-ray. I'm going to put the device in portrait mode now and show you another really cool feature. We've got recommendations down here. Customers who bought this, the hero item, in this case Hunger Games, also watched these things. And it's not just for recommendations, it's also for shortcuts. So as you scroll the carousel, you'll see that Elle magazine has a completely different set of recommendations. But when you get to something like email, this is the icon for our email, you'll see that there are shortcuts. Quick link to start a new message, check your calendar, check your contacts. If you get a photo album there, it brings up all your other photo albums down here. It's nice. It encourages you to peruse your photos. All right. Let's listen to a little music. Let's go into Some Nights. I want you to hear the sound.
Some nights I stay up, cashing in my bad luck. Some nights I call it a draw. Some nights I wish.
Can you bring the volume down just a little, please? So this is a great example of the streaming. It's also a great example of the Dolby sound. It sounds really good just on the device. You don't need headphones to do this. Games sound really amazing as well. Go ahead and crank it back up a little. Oh, by the way, you can stream. We keep everything for you in the cloud. You don't have to worry about backing up your music collection either. All right, let's pause that. Thank you. Let's take a look at games here. Temple Run, I've been playing a little bit of Temple Run. You can see that I have 6 Facebook friends also playing Temple Run. 11 of 36 levels have been completed, and 11% of the people in Game Circle are better than I am at Temple Run. Actually, I'm not sure I believe that, but anyway. Let's do it. I want to show you something else. Let's take a look at Skylanders. This is something that we've worked together with Activision on. Skylanders is one of the most popular games in the Wii, and one of the most popular franchises in the Wii universe. And we've done something really unique here that I think you'll find intriguing. Let's start out by just killing a few of these guys. This is where the 12 billion floating point operations could really come in handy. Do some more killing. All right, now let's die. All right, now take a look at this gold box up here in the upper right-hand corner. I'm going to tap on that. And when I tap on that, it pulls up an in-game offer, but for a physical product. And tap on that offer, and now I'm going to buy it with one click. And now I'm not only going to, I'm going to get the physical toy delivered by Amazon, but I'm also getting, as you can see here, that virtual character enters into my game at the same time. And here is the physical toy. And now, you know, Amazon Prime isn't quite that fast. Okay. Let's switch over to the 8.9-inch device. Okay. Let's take a look first at photos. I'm going to take you, we've got a lot of different photo albums here, take you into a photo album. It's a road trip that I took with my brother. Again, we store all of these photos for you in the cloud. You can easily move them back and forth to your device. You can delete them off the device without any concern. You can move photos quickly and easily from Facebook onto your device. A lot of good, deep integration there. All right. Let's take a look. I'm going to switch to portrait here. And let's take a look at this textbook. I want to show you X-ray for textbooks. It's an anatomy textbook. Let's tap there and go into X-ray. You can think of X-ray for textbooks like a smart glossary. It knows the important phrases in the book. It pulls them up in this nice way for you. You can tap on skull. Gives you a definition of skull, shows you every occurrence of skull in the textbook, so you can go through and find all the places that that term is mentioned. It pulls up the Wikipedia entry for your convenience, and even YouTube videos related to this topic for your convenience. Okay. Let's go back home. And let's go in and look at a magazine. Magazines look incredible on this 8.9-inch display.